Hello and welcome back to the Ultra HD Gamer, and I'm going to be doing an overview on this Lenovo ThinkPad t420 I got from Let Go for 40 bucks. Well, it was more like 60 to 70 bucks overall because I had to replace the keyboard and buy a new charger because it did not come with a charger. But it did come with a hard drive and RAM. I did take out the hard drive and replace it with an mSATA SSD, but I mean, whatever. As you see, there's a nice little Windows 7 background that I put on, and the display is actually pretty nice. Also, the keyboard is extremely nice. I had to replace it because the person I bought it from said the keyboard is basically ripped off, and as you can see, or as you could have seen on the listing, which I can't show you because it's already taken down, the keyboard literally has no keys. All the keys were ripped off, except for like some of the F keys and maybe a backspace key or something. It is running Windows 10 Professional, and it had a Windows 7 Pro COA, which I use to activate Windows. It has a 1600 by 900 LCD panel that has decent viewing angles that you cannot really see with the camera. I mean, it's a decent display, especially for the price I paid for it. It has some nice little LEDs, indicator LEDs, and it has Lenovo Enhanced Experience 2.0, and that nice little mouse thingy that is really nice for businesses. So it has 12 gigs of RAM. It actually came with that amount of RAM, and for 40 bucks it's kind of a steal. It had an NVIDIA NVS 4200M, which is actually a decent card. I was expecting Intel HD Graphics 2000 or 3000, which is pretty terrible. It has an i5 2520M, a 2-core 4-thread at 2.5 gigahertz, and you can upgrade it to an i7 3rd gen, like a 3820M or something, or 3870M. I'm not really sure because, I didn't really research it. I took out the hard drive and I put in a 250 gig mSATA SSD, and I put Windows 10 Pro on it, as you can see, and it is really snappy. Moving on to ports, you have the hard drive caddy, or bay, a display port, USB 2.0 port. There are no USB 3 ports on this, because this is a 2011, 2012 era laptop, and it was a business laptop too. It has Ethernet, which is probably gigabit. It has VGA, and cooling, an exhaust fan. It gets pretty toasty. I might have to repaste the CPU, sorry about that. It has another exhaust port, or exhaust fan. It has a 20 volt charger, and that's an aftermarket charger, an extended 9-cell battery, the indicator LEDs, a USB 2.0 port, and a FireWire 1394, which I don't think anyone really uses anymore. Okay, moving on to the other side. A combination port of one USB 2.0 and an eSATA. This port, I think it's an express port or something, express card port, which I have never used, and I don't think I plan on using it. And yeah, that's the express card, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Also has the manual switch for Wi-Fi, so you can turn Wi-Fi on or off when you want to. It has, well, it does not have the DVD writer anymore, but it had one. But when I bought it, it didn't come with it, sadly. But the cool thing about this is that you can actually buy a bay to replace the optical drive, and you can put an SSD in there. So you can technically have 3 drives in this laptop, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. And I am debating whether, like, when I save up enough money, I should spend it on a DVD drive, which I do use all the time, and it's actually quite nice having a DVD drive in my opinion, or getting extra storage, which might also be very nice. I mean, I already have plenty of computers with optical drives, looking at that Dell XPS 8300 and my main rig right there. Oh yeah, and there's also a 3.5mm headphone jack, if you can see that. Yes, you can. The build quality of this laptop is actually really nice, and I need to get the charging port out from under, but whatever. And I think it has some decent-ish gaming potential, since the NVS 4200M has DirectX 12 support, but it only has 1 gig of DDR3 VRAM, and it's pretty potatoey. I mean, Intel HD 4000 graphics beat it in terms of power in some ways. Overall, it's a really nice laptop, and especially for the price I paid and its configuration, since it comes with 12 gigs of RAM, which is a steal, and the WD Black 320 gig 7200 RPM hard drive that I actually put in a Voster 200 because I thought the hard drive wasn't bad and I wanted to test it. It isn't bad, because there was another problem with this laptop. And the problem was that Windows was corrupt. So I was thinking, oh, that's the hard drive, but it isn't. Yeah, enough of my rambling. Let's go into control panel. And system and security. System. Let's see. And it has a Core i5 2520M CPU, and the nice thing about it is that it is socketed, it is not soldered onto the board, so I can actually upgrade the CPU to an Ivy Bridge era CPU, i7 preferably, when the price is good. It has 12 gigs of RAM, like I told you, and it's on 64-bit Windows. Yeah, and another cool thing about this laptop is that it came from an IT company which had the laptop in Singapore. So it was a Lenovo ThinkPad t420 sold in Singapore. It's actually a pretty neat laptop in some ways, and it's my first time experiencing a Lenovo ThinkPad. I do not plan on using this as my main